Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the inaugural round of the North American Grand Prix Formula Abarth Championship. Brad, I almost said GT2, but this is round
Oh
one
God.
for season 27. And, well, you just heard him. Brad Maris is in the broadcast booth with me tonight, ready to start this brand new season here of Assetto Corsa on Monday nights. And I'll tell you what, things are looking pretty exciting here, Brad.
Yeah, it's really out with the old and in with the new. Here we go, Al. These guys have been putting in a ton of practice, and we're going to have some incredible competition, I'm sure, this season and the upcoming seasons, but maybe none more so than here tonight. These guys have been putting in some serious laps, and the times are looking tight out there, Al.
Yeah, they are looking pretty close right now. Alex White setting the pace at the moment with the 222.2 here at Spa, but I'm not sure if that is actually a race pace or an actual qualifying lap or what. He's been, a lot of the times here have been very, I'd say, kept close to the vest. You know what I mean? So a lot of people really aren't divulging too much information as to what kind of pace they're running on what tires and how much fuel, this and that. So it's a bit of a mystery for us here, Brad.
Yeah, a few sandbaggers out there, huh? They're protecting against the flood, I guess. But I tell you, all will be revealed here momentarily as we kick off to our qualifying session.
Yeah, so if you're just joining us here tonight and you're wondering what is going on here, we usually race GTR2 on Monday nights. No, this is it. GTR2 is all done. GT2 is done. It's all Assetto Corsa for the foreseeable future. So we'll be running the Formula Abarth here tonight for this season here on Monday nights, and yeah, we got everything lined up. It's going to be a 12 race schedule as we just moved over to qualifying now. We got 27 drivers here at Spa, so we just moved over to qualifying, and Chris Moses is going to be the first to act. Let's take a quick look at the track map here tonight, Brad. Well, if you don't,
Let's do it.
if you're watching this race, you don't know what Spa is or where this track is or anything about it, well, you got something wrong with it. Probably one of the greatest tracks in the world, located in Belgium. 20 corners. Famous corners like Eau Rouge, Blanchimont, Pouhon, and the bus stop. Just an amazing circuit. And Brad, I know you did a lot of laps here in practice. How do these Abarths feel around this track?
Absolutely amazing, Al. I cannot tell you how incredibly fun it is to drive these things around here. And as far as the cornering goes, it almost seems like there's not much limit to what you can get away with until you cross over it. It's just absolutely amazing, and the downforce, the cornering speeds, these guys, not a lot of power per se, but the cornering speeds allow you to carry a lot of speed down some of the straights. And ordinarily we'd be talking about the second sector a lot around this place in terms of overall lap times, and the second sector is going to be important, but on this track configuration with these cars, I tell you, that third sector and pretty much that single bus stop chicane is going to count for quite a bit of time around here, Al.
So, if you're used to watching us typically on Monday nights, you're going to see a lot of familiar faces here. Chris Moses, Precision Motor Racing, is back here on Monday night. Here in Parsons, we just saw him. There's Mike Radrix, Chuck Carter. So a lot of familiar names from Monday night. So it seems like they've looks like all of them are signed up here, ready to go. Ken Rodriguez is going to be racing with us full time on Monday nights. So it's going to be great here as we watch these guys make their way around on this outlap. Let's jump on board with Chris Moses now, as he is going to be the first to act here to lay down a hot lap, Brad.
Yeah, sure walked out there coming around Lasource, didn't he? Now, a quick note here, I'm watching the practice before we kicked off here, and one guy I was watching really closely was Aaron Parsons. Now, you know Aaron Parsons from seasons past at GTR2 at all the championships and races he's won, but I gotta tell you, not looking very sharp here, and teammate John Houston as well, so I am a little curious to see that Aaron Parsons qualifying time come up here, see if he's sandbagging himself just a little bit.
So Chris Moses, the end of Pujon here. I'm sorry, the Kemmel Straight. Now, Brad, I know we ran a lot of laps here in the GT cars. How did the Abarth compare in terms of relative speed and especially through some of these corners?
Yeah, it just completely night and day now. Absolutely different in about every single way possible. So we of course been running some of the GT2 class around here on that wonderful Al Merrimont car pack. And I have to say the GT cars will be running around the 219, 218 lap times. These guys will be running in the low 220, mid 220s thereabouts. So less overall lap time speed, but the handling is completely different. These cars respond really well to a lot of aero. And again, just the top speed is lacking. But you know what? The top speed is going to be close for everybody. It's going to be all about, in these Abarths this season, who's able to get through the corners and to limit the mistakes over the course of the event. That's who's going to determine our champion.
So the track conditions, the session itself, this qualifying session, is going to be 25 minutes. And setup is kind of limited on these cars, Brad, isn't that right?
Yeah, to some extent. Now, there's a decent amount of suspension options, but you're going to get the most bang for your buck out of those aerodynamic changes for sure. Particularly at a track like this, on some of our shorter tracks, and that suspension will come into play.
So Chris Moses quickly jumps up to provisional pole with a 222.4. Parsons second with a 23.9. Greatrix checks in with a 24 flat. Ken Rodriguez, I know he's been putting in a lot of work. Must have had an issue, actually it's probably an outlap with a 243.9. Chuck Carter with the 23.8. So these times quickly coming down. Alex White, last season's GT2 champion, checks in with a 21.9. So that's definitely the fastest lap we've seen so far, Brett.
Yep. Early track record to record here for this early in this season. Yeah, Alex, of course, in that official practice running that 22.2, so very fine time for him. That was on the hards, however, Al.
Yeah, so the tire options here in the Formula Abarth, soft, medium, and hard. Some strategy options come into play, but here in qualifying, I suspect even at this track, you're going to see everybody on the softs.
And how wonderful in Assetto Corsa, we can actually look at those tire choices. Ooh, Moses is on the mediums, Al.
So that's interesting. It's a very, very good lap there on the medium tires for Moses. So those softs may be good for another half second if he gets that, puts a lap together here. But we're following John Houston at the moment on a flyer.
Yeah, those tires and the choices of tires, we will get into that a little bit, but some interesting options for these guys in this season going forward with those tire options.
About to complete this lap.
Yeah, in second gear coming off the chicane. Interesting, his teammate has been using first.
checks in with a check in, right? I missed this time. Oh, no improvement for Houston.
Yeah, I guess he had to come back in, and so ran another outlap.
Marty Uren currently sitting in fourth with a 23-1. Marty Uren's teammate Ian Jolicoeur out this week. He is out of the country. He's on vacation. Jack Ivey filling in for him tonight.
Yeah, and putting in a pretty good effort too, it has to be said. I think anything in the 25s around here is going to be a pretty decent time. It's certainly going to keep you in the middle of the pack, if not better.
Already working that wheel, entering this no-name left here at Spa. So in terms of the tires, how many laps can you get out of the softs here in this qualifying session? I know. Obviously, depending on how hard you drive the car and how much you slide around, the wear is going to drop pretty quickly on it. But can you get a couple laps out of them here at Spa?
Probably not. No, I think the best these guys are going to be able to get really is going to be a single lap out of the softs, and they'll probably have to run their outlap pretty conservatively at that. So this track not too kind on the tires really. And Chris Moses, maybe he's comfortable on the mediums. He has some pressures that work really well in that with that medium range. But yeah, I think if you can't get the softs to work for a lap, I think they are going to be the better option.
So Marty about to complete this lap. Marty to the line, checks in with a 23.6. So that should move him up. Oh no, that does not. He remains in 6th.
Yeah, John Houston did check in with the time there at a 23.9, so John Houston on the board.
David Rowley currently sitting in 18th, best lap at 25 and change.
Interesting. We've run about half the time off this qualifying session, and we haven't seen any improvement by that Alex White or Chris Moses duo. They're up at the top, but Salem Montgomery Jr. sure challenging for those times now, sitting 3rd now with that 22.3, so it's a nice lap for Salem Montgomery Jr.
Yeah, Jaime Moore with a 23 flat as well, so Jaime Moore looking good. Andres Prieto doesn't look like he's been able to set a... He's got a 23.2, but I think he's got more in that as well.
Yeah, you'd think so. Of course, we haven't seen too much of Andres Prieto around here on the server and running laps, so it's hard to say just how much practice time he has got, but he'll be a force this season, assuming that he does get those times in. Multiple GT2 champion, of course.
As we continue to follow David Rowley here.
Yeah, if only we could switch between cars a little easier. That would make things better.
A whole heck of a lot easier for sure. So David Rowley coming to the line with the, well, looks like that was his outlet. 3-minute flat.
Or some, performance at the times on the viewing end would be okay too. But still, nonetheless.
So John Watha just checked in with a 224, so that was a flyer. He's going to keep going here. Got to put down another lap. Watha currently residing in the 16th position.
tell you, we've seen some guys run some pretty fine times around here. We know that they are on the race pace. And I'm thinking about guys like John Wathen. I'm thinking about guys like Mike Greetrex, and perhaps they aren't showing the best pace possible.
Wathen takes it way off into the barrier. So Brad, Chuck Carter checks in with a 222.9.
Yeah.
Outstanding lap for Chuck. So we were talking about this before the broadcast. So, some guys who really weren't, they were relatively competitive in GT2 on Monday nights, have really taken to these Abarths. Mike Greatrix running quite well. Chuck Carter is a guy just currently in 4th now in qualifying here. Kurt Chandler having a good run, running in 6th provisionally here in qualifying. So it's going to be interesting.
You're absolutely right, and especially on a track like this, we were talking about it a little bit. The suspension is going to help you out, no question about it. But by and large, your biggest return is going to be with those aero settings. You get those right, and you have a chance to run pretty strong. And those guys have, and you're absolutely right, have put into practice. Connor Swain now checking in with a solid 22.
Yeah, Prato just checks in with a 22 flat. So, ooh. As Iggy just takes it a little bit wide there. So Prato laying down a very good lap, just a 10th off the pole time. Wow. Have to keep an eye on Prato. On board with Montgomery Jr. His last lap was a 3:05, so this is definitely a flyer. Oh, it looks like he's going to back out of it. Not sure what's going on there.
He may not have had the one he liked.
Just under 10 minutes to go here in this qualifying session. Quickly winding down. Watching Sergio Calderon. Sergio is currently sitting in 16th. Right on board with Calderon, currently teamed up this season with Mike Greatrix. Performs skid mark racing.
Yeah, and both those guys, looking relatively sharp. Sergio looks a little off somewhat. 5 is going to leave him in pretty good shape, and Mike Greatrix has been doing at least in the practice session.
Calderon with a 2:24.6, so does not improve on his time. Rally in the pits. See what Greatrix can do here. Greatrix to the line. Out lap. Let's jump on board with Greg Myers here. In
as you watch
the Jaguar liveried Abarth. Oh,
I know you like that one.
It all wrong. A little too much power at exit of the source.
So time quickly winding down here. So the guys that are opting to run the softs, they're going to get 2 timed laps if they really get about their business and get on it right now.
Aaron Parsons checking in with the 23.1. Man, you were right about Parsons. I'm not sure what's going on there, but he's languishing a bit there, Brad. Currently in 9th.
Yeah, the fact that Houston's a bit off the pace too tells me that they've got the setup a little bit wrong here tonight. And that's interesting. That does not usually happen.
Right along with Alex White.
Yeah, perhaps behind behind the 8-ball a little early now. Alex White and Mike Trussler, of course, last season's GG2 champions. Mike Trussler not quite up to speed yet either there in 12th provisionally.
Yeah, Chuck Carter in front of Ezra, Kurt Chandler. Some unlikely names. Ooh! White catching a bit of the gravel and let's put that left rear tire off and set them into the wall. Yeah, Lou Mascarelli. Ooh, all over that curbing there at the bus stop. Checking in with a 2:25.5. So Lou, unable to improve on his best lap, currently residing in 20th.
Yeah, for some of these drivers
here. Here we go. Brito on a flyer. Go ahead, Brad. Sorry.
I was going to say, you mentioned some of these guys maybe not used to running for some of the lion's share of points, and these are really the guys I was talking about in terms of really needing to limit their mistakes if they want to grab some of those points. They're showing some good speed, but is it going to be there? That consistency going to be there over the course of whole events? You know, that remains to be seen.
Brito unable to improve. 2:22.3. Montgomery Jr. now improves, and White has improved. So White 21.6, Montgomery Jr. 21.7. Brito still 22 flat.
Yeah, Moses not checking in yet with a 21 either, so he has some work to do here in his last lap or two. It's coming down to it.
No, he parks it. Yeah, that was not sure what happened with Moses there, but let's jump back on board with Brito if we can catch up with him. There he is. So fourth gear for Prieto at the end of the Kemmel Straight there, that right-left complex.
Yeah, I could see that he really wants to hold that fourth gear through the right-hander coming up here. So not uncommon for Andres. He likes to string together the same gear for multiple corners. But that is an interesting, very long sixth gear.
Yeah, holding six through Pujol.
Well, it's not a bad choice if you can keep the momentum up. You can keep the speed up.
No, it's just watching Moses is on board. I know he was dropping down to fifth going through Pujol. So interesting setup characteristics for some of these guys. How they can keep the speed on the, keep the relative speed and lap time the same with such different setup styles.
Yeah, well, Andres may need to revisit that gear here if he wants to pick up another 0.4 of a second, I think. So it's gonna be a big task, I think. Surprising to see that Salem Montgomery Jr. time coming right behind Alex White. So let's see if Salem Montgomery Jr. can pick up some time here in his last lap or two.
Ooh, Prieto got on to that 21.9, but it might have been a better lap. He got up on that AstroTurf on the exit of the bus stop, and car got a little side swirly on him.
Let me tell you something, and these cars are so dependent on momentum. I tell you, that hurt his time a bunch.
Big time, yep. So Sam Rolfe sitting at 25th. Montgomery Jr. Let's jump on board with Salem. He just starting a hot lap right now. See what if he's got anything for Alex White here. Yeah,
it's going to be maximum push. If he can get softs to work for 2 laps, he's going to have 2 laps of opportunity here, I think. Ooh, awful close there.
I thought the same thing. Very close to a cut there for Salem, and very close.
I tell you, getting very close to that curbing coming up at Rouge, though, well shave some time off your run down here to Lacombe.
Oh, gets it all wrong on the braking.
And that's it.
Yep. See if we can pick up our leaders here. Well, we just picked up Aaron Parsons, so Parsons on a flyer. Let's jump on board with him. See if he can improve from his 11th starting position. Shocking.
Yeah, really shocking. I tell you, speaking of improvement, though, Alex White has improved his time. Now running in the low 21s, Al.
Parsons taking that final corner in first. Oh. This is a hot lap for Parsons. That was an out lap. Yeah, one of the shortcomings here is it's a lack of sector time and delta information.
Yeah, timing and scoring a little fluky yet here on multiplayer. We all hope that gets fixed soon. Aaron not taking much advantage of that curbing coming off of a Rouge.
Just running through the order here, see if we can find our leaders. Yeah, Parsons. Everybody's in the pit lane. You see the app there I have up on the left side. Pit. Preto's out on track. Ooh, Parsons gets it wrong. Ooh. He's done.
I can tell you that he has been furiously making some adjustments here in between his laps, but it has not worked out for him yet.
In terms of our top 5, the only guy on a hot lap right now is Preto. He's on a flyer. Checkers are out.
Andres Preto very good in these last lap situations during qualifying, and you know he wants that time he missed coming through the last chicane there on his last attempt.
Preto, a native of Colombia, part of Team Colombia Nuis with Jaime Moore. The Colombian contingent is well represented here tonight.
Oh, it sure is, and these guys are going to be a force. Yeah, they're making their presence felt already early here on Thursdays, Al.
Yeah, they certainly are. There's several drivers from really from all over the world racing with us. Well, we talked to Preto from Colombia. We got Alex White from the UK, Rally, Connor Swain, Mike Trussler, Parsons from Australia, Argentina represented here tonight. Thursday League, Dominican Republic, all over the place. So,
yeah, don't forget our friends from the Great White North, Al.
Oh yeah. Well, okay, yeah, we could consider them.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like, yeah. They're all in the same.
We'll give them.
All right, so let's see what Preto can do here. Jaime Moore just finished his lap with a 23.1, so that doesn't help him. Preto, good exit there at the bus stop. What's it going to be for Preto? Ooh, does not improve.
No.
So there you have it, Brad. Alex White,
kind of
taking pole. Just beating out Salem Montgomery Jr. in second. Wow. Yeah, well, Gup Douglas amazed by Chuck Carter's result. Not so much me. I think Chuck is really takes to these cars well, and it's really showing here tonight, Brad.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I mentioned Mike Greetrex as well. We had an abbreviated warm-up session in these cars, and I tell you, some of these. come down to some of that racecraft and learning to that stick-to-itiveness there with that consistency and keeping it on track. I'm excited to see unfold for those guys this season.
Tiago, you read my mind. I'll be right back, Brad.
Yep. So I'll give you a quick reminder here that the NAGP TV is bringing you this broadcast coverage of its inaugural Assetto Corsa season. It is officially the 27th season of the Monday night excursion into championship mayhem, and 12 rounds in the season 27 championship, and a lot of excitement going on for this Abarth championship. Looking forward to full fields most of the way this championship season. There will be some slots opened on some tracks for reserve or fill-in drivers to pick up some a spot drive here or there, but by and large the field is full. The drivers are ready to go and to start this event and for the entire season as well. So another 2 minutes and 45, we will take the green flag and we'll see exactly what these guys have in store for us here tonight. I expect some pretty close action and perhaps some gaps opening up. It's going to be a 1 hour race here tonight, so plenty of time to recover from any mistakes.
All right, Brad, I am back. Sorry about that. So, yeah, like you said, the race tonight's 150 kilometers, 22 laps. So, not sure about the pit strategy. We're going to see how it holds up. By looking at the graph right now, Alex White's going to start on the hards. Montgomery and Prieto on mediums, Moses on the hards. I think the hards are the way to go, Brad, tonight. I think guys are going to start to realize that. So,
yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Unless there's some strategy options with fuel, running a short stint and taking a longer fuel, something like that. But I guess we're just going to have to wait and see, and we're not too much longer from finding out.
Yep. So let's run down the starting order here tonight. From Spa, starting from pole, it's going to be Alex White, followed by Montgomery Jr. second. Preto's going to start third. Chris Moses fourth. Kurt Chandler's going to start fifth.
Yeah, Marty Urin put in a nice time for sixth. Connor Swain's going to take seventh. Jaime Moore is in eighth. Chuck Carter, nice time for ninth. And Mike Trussler's in 10th.
Aaron Parsons, who'd have thought, is going to start 11th. David Rowley 12th. Felipe Triana 13th. Houston 14th. And Mike Greatrix in 15th.
Ken Rodriguez, your intrepid Thursday night broadcaster, starts 16th. Sergio Calderon's in 17th. John Wathen takes 18th. Jack Ivey takes 19th. Gregory Myers in 20th.
Mascarelli's going to start 21st. Omar Gomez 22nd. Giordia 23rd. Sam Rolfe's going to be 24th. And Matt Taylor's going to be starting from the back at 26th. So Taylor, I know he's had some connection issues here tonight, Brad, but he's going to be starting from the rear of the grid, unable to set a time. We saw him in practice looking a little jumpy out there.
Yeah, and his ping is not great either, so we'll see how that holds up. Hopefully it'll get a little bit better for him. No. Looks like he just disconnected again.
Oh boy. So, we got about 15 seconds to go here. This is going to dump us into the pit lane. And then we're going to be ready to go. All right, we had a bit of a moment at Le Sueur. Sorry, folks. This is we got the start going here, but it's going to be Alex White leading the field through Eau Rouge, followed by Montgomery Jr., Prieto, Chris Moses in fourth, and Marty Uren threatening that position on Moses. These guys really dicing around. Montgomery Jr. Montgomery Jr. taking over the lead there. the end of the Kemmel straight. So Montgomery Jr. quickly to the lead. Montgomery Jr. got in front of Chris Moses as well. So Uren got in front of Moses. So Uren up to 4th, Brett.
Yeah, interesting news and notes there. It's a little strange, I think. Chris Moses could not set a better lap time. He put in a ton of practice for this event, but languishing a bit. And with Matt Taylor, his teammate, going out, it's trouble for PMR here tonight, I think, Al.
So Moses putting a lot of pressure on Marty. Kurt Chandler with a nice start, currently in 5th. Wow, what an amazing start by Montgomery Jr. He looks like he's starting to check out, Brett.
Wow. Well, he obviously showed the good practice times, and he's showing it in the race as well. So Alex White, Alex White in a fun race there at Monaco.
Whoa.
Now, he started off a little...
Kurt Chandler got into the side of Mike Trussler, and Kurt somehow got around Chris Moses, but Moses breaking very deep into the bus stop. So Kurt with some contact with Mike Trussler. Both those guys going to be suffering some aero damage, but a lot of action up near the front, Brad.
Yeah, I see Mike Grichek has gone off, so he has a spin at the final chicane. He is going to lose a lot of spots here.
So Montgomery Jr. blows it in the bus stop, allowing Alex White and Prato to get by.
Wow. These guys it's starting off fast and furious here, Al. These guys don't want to give up anything.
Montgomery Jr. really must be running low wing, because he just blew past Prato quickly after the exit of Eau Rouge.
It's hard to pass around this place, and that might not be a bad option. Just take it as fast as you can there up the Kemmel Straight and try to pick up some free spots.
So Prato gets by, though, hangs on to that position, so Montgomery Jr. looks like he made another mistake. So quickly running through the field here, Marty Uren in 4th, Chandler 5th. Moses has fallen back a position of 6th. Trussler hanging on to that 7th position after the contact with Greatrix. A little gap between Trussler and Moore. Connor Swain trying to hang on to the back of Jaime Moore. Chuck Carter, after his great qualifying position, has fallen back to 11th, Brad. Right behind Aaron Parsons.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened. He may have been involved in that Mike Greatrix fracas, and may have put them both back a bit. Wow. John Houston really struggled here, so the T-Rock Dam Bam squad still in a kind of out of sorts here a little bit.
Interesting. Parsons banging off the rev limiter as he's entering Blanchimont, so really running a short 6 year. Oh, but there's a nice up and under move on Chuck Carter, gets past.
So his best lap of the race goes to Alex White in the front there with that 2:23.3. Salem Montgomery Jr. only managing a 24.5.
Montgomery Jr. has gotten back past Prato. Prato looks like he's going to get a run on Montgomery Jr. here at the end of the Kemmel. So these guys swapping positions lap after lap. But as these two fight it out, Alex White starting to put a bit of a gap between himself and Prato. Moses has made his way past Kurt Chandler and is putting the pressure now on Marty Uren for fourth. Yeah, Trussler, ooh, little contact. Trussler looking on the inside of Chandler to Pujols. Those two side by side. There's some more contact. And Trussler gets the pass made. So Trussler moving up a spot.
Looks like Moses did complete that pass on Uren as well. I was going to make a comment that Marty Uren only checking in with a 226 thus far, so not quite on the pace of the leaders as Marty Uren.
Jaime Moore now trying to put the move on Chandler. So Chandler, with that contact, he's got to be suffering some type of aero damage. That's one thing these guys are going to have to be cognizant of is contact. And the damage model we have set here is 50%. So it's not as significant as seasons past, but still, I mean, the more contact you have, the more time you're going to lose per lap. So it looks like Chandler's quickly falling victim to some of these guys, and Connor Swain's looking for a piece of Chandler as well.
Well, these pit stops are going to occur very quickly. It does not take too much time in the pits for these guys, unless you take on quite a bit of aero damage. So that will cost you time. You're losing time out on track, and then you're going to lose time in the pits as well. That will play havoc with your times.
Looks like Connor Swain's going to make his move. Marty's gotten back past Moses, so Connor Swain does get past Chandler. So Swain up to 8th. Aaron Parsons now running in 10th.
Boy, a lot of mistakes out there. I think these guys have started this race a little nervy, and I think we're seeing quite a few mistakes from most of the field here.
Taking a look further back, we got Felipe Triana currently running in 11th, Chuck Carter in 12th, Calderon having a good run in 14th, Greg Myers behind him in 15th. This battle between Ken Rodriguez and John Wathen, this is for 12th. On board with K-Rod, our Thursday night broadcaster.
As you watch him, I'll just make a quick point that there's very few drivers on your North American Grand Prix app you can see on the left-hand side of your screen in white. Very few of those drivers in white means that those are guys not being challenged by position. You can see colors on most of the other drivers, so the field's still very close together, battling very hard.
Ken, I know Ken put in a lot of practice here tonight for this race, I should say, and really stretching out that lead over Wathen now. So Jack Ivey having a great showing here. Jack Ivey just one spot out of the points, filling in for Ian Jolicoeur, running in 17th. Greatrix in 18th. I know you mentioned Greatrix at the start of the race. We missed that. Not sure what happened with Greatrix in the opening laps. And Houston, Brad, we talked about Aaron Parsons' troubles. Houston's way back in 19th.
Yeah, and I was watching John Houston pretty exclusively there for a while, and just kind of all over the place and making some mistakes. Particularly, it looks like the rear end is a little flighty on him.
Ooh, David Rowley and Iggy Chiodi are having a battle here, Brad. this is for 20th. So battles up and throughout the field here.
Yeah, there really is. This is a difficult place to pass, so these guys are really waiting for those mistakes in front, which has been coming pretty regularly.
Ooh, looks like Rally's going to make his way past. So Rally moving up a position. So not sure what happened to Rally. He had a pretty decent start. Looks like Lewis parked it. And back out front, it is Alex White leading the way here with a pretty significant gap over second place currently. That gap.
Yeah, that gap.
Sorry. No, that gap is 4.2 seconds now between White and Salem Montgomery Jr. in second. So after Salem made his way past Prato, he's been able to hang on to that second place. It's been those two were swapping positions for a little while, but it's kind of stabilized.
Yeah, and I think by this point these guys should be getting pretty comfortable now and have settled down a little bit now that there's not a lot of side-by-side action going on. So hopefully we'll start seeing somebody who does have the pace can really begin to move forward. So far it's been a pretty robust start, Al.
It certainly has, and it's great to see. And as we work our way through the race here, working lap 6. So these guys can go 15 laps on a full tank for the most part.
Yeah, 15 laps, but it's a 22 lap distance. Is that right, Al?
It is 22 laps, yeah. So one more lap, that pit window will open for these guys. So you got to wonder what strategy is going to come into play. Are these guys going to half it? You know, halve the distance, or are they going to stretch it out? Run on a different compound? It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I think that's the big question. Are these guys going to take a long stint and a short one and swap over to the mediums, try to gain some speed? Those mediums will gain you almost a second per lap, but only for about 5 or 6 laps around this place, and then they get a little dicey.
So on board with Chris Moses now. Chris Moses really putting a lot of pressure on Marty Uren.
At those tire choices now, it is Salem Montgomery Jr. on the mediums and Andres Prieto on the mediums as well. You pointed that out, but we'll see if they swap those compounds as we see that pass now being made through Blanchimont.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. These cars, you can go too wide through Blanchimont. Moses really holding his brake late. His braking late. Oh, looks like Montgomery Jr. made a mistake. He's turned it at the bus stop, and it's given Prato second position. That moves up Marty and most of the field up, I would imagine. So yeah, no, not most of the field. Montgomery Jr. rejoins in 6th. So now it's Marty Uren, currently on the podium, but he's under a lot of pressure from Chris Moses.
Yeah, has been now for 4 or 5 laps. But if there's one thing we know about Marty Uren, it's that he loves Spa. He wants to get another streak going here on Assetto Corsa and knock off top 10 finishes.
Was he going to be able to outbrake Marty? And here he does. So Moses, it took him several laps, but finally makes his way past Marty. Ooh. Big slide from Moses, but looks like he may hang on to it. Marty's going to have a look on the outside. Ooh, Marty may have the advantage if he can hang on to this. He does not, so Moses is going to maintain that position.
Yeah, so Moses finally completing that pass after those early jitters, and like you say, swapping the positions back and forth. Both those guys on the hard tires, so we should expect to see them go at least halfway in this event.
Wow, you can already see that gap. Moses is starting to pull on Marty very, very quickly. Moses starting to pull away, so going to have to keep an eye on that gap between Moses and Prato. Prato is going to have his hands full, I suspect, in the next few laps.
Yeah, and I also expected Moses to be able to pull that gap once he did get clear. Now, speaking of pulling a gap, Alex White has reset the fast lap time to a 22.7.
Yeah, it's about a second clear of the rest of the field, so Alex really laying down some serious lap times here. Not having any pressure on him is really helping him out quite a bit. So going further back through the field here, Montgomery Jr., who's in 6th. You talk about Trussler, Brad, struggling. He's having a great night here. Beneficiary of a few mistakes, but currently running in 5th with Montgomery Jr. starting to hound him down, but still having a good run.
Yeah, the beneficiary of mistakes, a la Salem Montgomery Jr., who of course was in front of him, did not have the best qualifying time, did Mike Trussler, but has not made the mistakes. And I've talked about it a couple times now. I'll talk about it probably a lot more during the season. People will get sick of it, but those mistakes, that's what's going to cost you in this championship.
Yeah, well, one of the big things here is, I mean, you nailed it. Mistakes do cost you. I mean, if you can run mistake-free, you will finish in the points for the most part. However,
it's like David Rowley in the pits, Al.
Ooh, so David Rowley, the first to act. So we are in that pit window for these guys. So let's take a look further back. Ooh, Connor Swain has just put it into the wall. We just picked it up late. Not sure what happened to him. I don't think he was mixing it up with anybody. I think he just made that mistake on his own.
Wow, well, that did happen from the 10th position. So Connor Swain running inside the top 10 now has some work to do.
So following Greg Myers currently in 11th, and right behind him, Jack Ivey. Jack having a great run here. Currently, oh, I'm sorry, Greg Myers in 10th, Jack Ivey in 11th. Starting to close the gap on Greg.
Wow, well, that is big news, and it's big news for that team. If Jack Ivey is in a consistent fill-in role for Ian Jolicoeur, it's going to help out that team quite a bit, and his fill-in teammate tonight, Marty Urin, of course, is running 4th.
So I know, I think Ian is in Budapest or something like. He's somewhere. If he's watching tonight,
he's going somewhere.
I know, but
I don't understand how we can afford it on a cop's salary.
I know, right? But if he's watching tonight, he's got to be happy with the job Jack Ivey's doing so far. But further back, this battle between Calderon, it's Calderon, Connor Swain, Mike Greatrix, really tight.
Yeah, Mike Greatrix started off a little shaky. I'm looking at that, his best lap time now at 2:26. We know he can run better than that.
Oh, Greatrix into the pits. He pulled it in, Brad.
Okay, well, yeah, it's gonna, unlike last season's when we can expect most guys to stop halfway, it looks like we're gonna get a lot of random pit stops this season now. We're gonna have to stay on our toes.
Yeah, so John Houston running 14th, Aaron Parsons in 15th, Brad. Ken Rodriguez leading both those guys, and Calderon leading those guys. What's the world coming to?
I think it's good to see. world is coming to good things.
Bit of a moment there for K-Rod, but he hung on to it. Putting a lot of pressure on Sergio for 12.
Boy, speaking of putting pressure, it looks like Chris Moses has closed the gap to Andres Prieto, and I think that has become a battle now for second.
Calderon had a bit of a moment, but K-Rod's really putting pressure on through Pujol. Looks like Sergio's going to be able to hang on to that position. Oh, Houston, out of nowhere, makes a pass on both Ken and Calderon. That was an insane pass. I don't know how he got that done.
I missed that pass, but I caught the one Moses going through for second over Andres Prieto. That is a battle between mediums and hard tires. Chris Moses on the hard's advantage at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's going to play itself out here. I think some of these guys are going to realize that the hards aren't going to be the way to go. Until someone like Tiago gets in here and does some kind of wacky setup strategy, and then everybody's going to start copying him. The hards are going to be the way to go. David Rowley out. So Chris Moses now up to second. He's going to have his work cut out for him, but I don't want him and Alex White on the hards. We're starting to see that play out now. The hards are going to be the way to go. Now does Moses double stint the hards and try and make up that gap on White? So that the delta time, the loss is about 1 second. Oh, Moses with a mistake. Looks like he got caught up in some lap traffic.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah, Lou Mascarelli.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Lou really put on the brakes there at Pulhon. I'm not sure exactly why that was, but
Well, I'll throw that strategy I was just talking about out the window.
well, that tightened up the battle over second. Those Prieto, Ured, and Moses back at it for the second position.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but Alex White about to start lap 11 now. Halfway through this race, quickly winding down.
Yeah, so interesting. You mentioned the double stint possibility on the tires. I don't know if that's a good possibility, but that'll save you about 7 seconds in the pits. Moses in.
I think this is a good move for Moses. I think he realizes what just happened. He's going to get his car fixed up, fix the aero damage, try and pound on some laps and get out ahead of Prieto and Duran after the pit stop cycle through. But Marty now making the move on Prieto for second, and he gets it done pretty easily.
Yeah, those hards, once again, you mentioned it, they're obviously the way to go at this point. And yeah, good move by Chris Moses. Look, we've only got 11 laps to go, so we're pretty much at halfway right now. And we know those tires will make it 11 laps.
Prieto, no answer from Marty. Trussell now moves up to fourth. Trussell has yet to pit. Montgomery Jr. sitting in fifth. And Kurt Chandler has recovered a bit here. He's currently in sixth. Chris Moses has rejoined in seventh. So very quick pit stops here. And Moses is good to go to the end of the race. So it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up after these pits cycle through.
Well, you know he's going to lose a little bit of time with that aero fix, but there's a few guys around him, I think, that also may have some aero problems. Marty Uren looked like he would run into a little bit of trouble, so...
Jack Ivey now has moved up to the 8th position. Jack having an amazing run here tonight, running in 8th. Greg Myers all over the back of him. But you got to give Jack a lot of credit here, Brad.
Well, yeah, and he hasn't made a lot of mistakes, and there you go.
Got quite a few retirements here tonight. Rally out, Rolf is out, Gomez, Triana, and Matt Taylor all out of the race here tonight. And Jack is pulling away from Greg Myers, so Jack really laying it down.
Yeah, he is, and Greg Myers typically does not put in a lot of practice, prefers it that way. He kind of drives by the seat of his pants. However, in the initial stages of this new Assetto Corsa Championship, you may want to get a few laps in.
Jack into the pits. So let's stick on board with Jack here. Let's see how long it takes him to get in and out. Marty is in the pits. Wow, Marty looks like he's been in for a long time, Brad.
Wow, well, that could be significant aero damage, or perhaps his pit app is not working for him.
Jack is away. He's going to beat Marty out.
Wow.
Good stop from Jack. And Marty is away. I mean, Jack is away. Marty is stuck in the pit lane. So, interesting. So,
yeah, keeping my eye now.
Go ahead.
Keeping my eye now on Aaron Parsons. Aaron Parsons has completed a pit stop. He is currently running in the 15th position at the moment. Not too many guys to stop in front of him either.
Houston with a big moment here. Might give up that position to Jack Ivey. He does not. He hangs on to him. White is in the pit lane, Brad.
So Alex White in the pit lane. It looks like Andres has stuck with the mediums unless this graph does not reset from the start of the race.
Trussell has taken over the lead of the race. Moses picks up some time on White. Moses just coming around Le Circus. And that gap is, well, Alex White going through Eau Rouge now, and Moses as well. So it's probably about, looks like about 10 seconds. So Trussell still needs to pit. And Preto just coming out of the pits now. So Preto with the terrible stop.
Well, I'm glad you can find all these drivers, Al, because I'm still... There we go.
So Ken Rodriguez currently leading Preto. Yeah, this is Greg Myers. I gotta wonder if these guys have pitted yet or not. I don't
They have
believe
not.
so.
Nope, the slashes on your screen indicate pit stops, as far as I know.
Oh. Well, that's good to know. Thank you. Didn't know that.
You didn't catch on pretty quick, Al.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't.
So you got to wonder
So
how.
Andres is.
No, I was just gonna say you got to wonder how things could have shaped up for Moses had he not run into Lou there before his pit stop. I mean, this could have been a bit different for Moses, but right now he's running a virtual second place as Trussler is now coming into the pits.
Yeah, and I can't even switch to Moses or White at all. Try to get some sense of the on-track gap. I just will not cycle through to him.
So White just crossing the start-finish line now, passing his teammate. Moses exiting the bus stop now. Marty Uran, it looks like he's parked it. He might be done, Brad.
Oh! What happened?
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but he is in the pits. Looks like he's done.
Oh!
So Trussell's going to come out just ahead of Greg Myers. Greg Myers is yet to pit, so it's going to be White, Moses, and Trussler, your top three. Rodriguez also has yet to pit. Montgomery Jr. has pitted and as has Prato.
Finally have a sense of the gap. I think it's about 10 seconds at the moment, Chris Moses to Alex White, so you're absolutely right. That damage probably cost him at least 5 or 6 seconds there in the pits. He could have stayed pretty close to Alex despite getting caught behind Marty early. And our second place runner, Chris Moses, now turning in laps around 23 lows, so pretty good laps.
So this battle between Jack Ivey and John Houston, this is for 9th. I'm sorry, for 8th. So Jack going to be carrying the banner for Kung Fu Racing here tonight.
Yeah, carrying the banner, but not too much time left in this race, really. We are starting to wind it down here. Just about 6 laps to go, Al. 7. Few guys yet to make those pit stops. I have to think of the likes of Gregory Myers and Ken Rodriguez. They're thinking about a short stint here and perhaps the medium tires to finish off the race.
Yeah, not a bad strategy. I mean, if you can make it work, could be the way to go. And, well, we know how quick these stops are in a relatively short pit lane here at Spa. Not like in GTR2, where it's like 3.5 miles. This is pretty quick. One of the Team Columbia guys into the pits. Oh, it is Prato. Not sure what's going on here, but Prato back into the pits, Brad.
Wow. Oh, I didn't see that coming. It's not for cut tracks. I don't understand what the deal is.
So that's going to give up 5th position to Montgomery Jr. So Ken is back in. So Ken has pitted. Greg Myers still the only guy yet to pit, just ahead of Montgomery. So Ken now running in 6th comes out just ahead of John Houston for this battle. Wow, really close, Brad, between Ken, Houston, and Ivy. on board with Houston.
Boy, it sure is. And some.
Looks like he's going to get a run on Ken here down the Kemmel Straight. Looks like Ken may hang on to this. Yeah, he does. And Jack right there looking to pounce. What a great battle. Good on Jack. I love it.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, pretty similar speeds we saw down the Kemmel Straight. I suspected that would by and large be what we saw.
Save about 7 seconds not changing tires.
Yeah.
The question was asked, so yeah, so about 7 seconds, but you lose about a second a lap. Ooh, Ken with a moment. Houston's gonna capitalize on this one. And is Houston gonna hang on to it? He does. So Prato, after his trouble, has rejoined in 9th, Brad.
Yeah, interesting. We just don't know what happened there. I guess we have to assume that it was some type of damage holding him back. Now, it does look like Jack Ivey's trying to make another go here. John Houston coming up to Blanchimont.
Well, he just made his way past Ken Rodriguez. Well, he's trying to. He's going to try and make it the long way around. No, he gets it done.
Going
Ken,
for a two for Al.
Oh my God, Jack, and he's gonna get it done. Great job for Jack. Wow. Outstanding pass.
Unbelievable.
That's great. I love it.
You know, I think Jack Ivey's in line for a top 5. Gregory Myers has yet to come into the pits, Al.
Greg just exited the pit lane. And Jack's got him in sight.
Oh, it's on now.
So, yeah, Greg's going to be on cold tires. Jack's got a few laps on his already. This would be an outstanding finish for Jack.
Yeah, a few laps to go. All I can say are just look at the school guys go. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, so for those of you who do not know, Brad Maris runs our driving school and worked with these guys in the off season, primarily in these cars. It's a lot different than running, the GT cars where you got brake lights and fenders and all that good stuff. So. A lot different. So Brad worked with those guys in terms of setup and preparation, and man, it's really showing. Whoa! Side by side through Pujon, and Jack's gonna hang on to that position.
Yeah, and not at all tooting my own horn there. It's these guys all the way. I mean, they're the ones that wanted to get the extra laps in. And really try to dive into figuring these things out. So it is all them. They're getting it done on track and not making mistakes.
Well, let's run down this top 10. White, Moses, okay, yeah, those guys. Trussler, okay. Montgomery Jr., great. Greg Myers, Jack Ivey, John Houston, Ken Rodriguez, Chuck Carter in 10th, Prato in 9th. When have you ever heard that?
And Aaron Parsons 11th. Jaime Moore 13th.
Exactly.
Marty, you're in 19th.
Yeah, Marty's in the pits. He's done. Marty, I'm not sure what happened to him, but he's all done.
Wow.
I'm going to stay on board with Jack here as he tries to reel in Greg Myers.
You know, I think he's got a shot, judging by the lap times and the pace that we've seen. I think he may have a little pace over Gregory Myers. Now, it should be noted, we forgot to look at the tire combinations. Look like Jack Ivey is actually on the hards. Gregory Myers on the medium, so perhaps those mediums will give up a bit for Greg Myers. Andres Preto stuffs it into the wall coming through Lacombe.
Oh my God. Oh, that might have been Jaime. I see Preto here.
Oh, Jaime Moore, excuse me, sorry.
Yeah, so Jaime Moore now back in 16th. Last points paying position.
Yeah, speaking of Andres Preto, though, he is closing on Ken Rodriguez, and I think he's going to have a go here shortly.
He's putting a lot of, it's actually John Houston. He's put a lot of pressure on Houston. And Jack Ivey has really pulled away from this, from Houston after getting past.
Andres Preto, 3 pit stops. Wow.
They're going to have a look on the inside of Blanchimont. Oh, with ease, gets past. So, this is going to be interesting for Jack here. We got 4 laps to go. Well, 3 after this, once they start to cross the start-finish line. Sorry, 4. No, 4, yeah. Starting lap, oh no, 4. Just starting lap 18. So, is Jack going to be able to hold off Preto here for 6th?
Yeah, we should keep you apprised here of a battle starting to brew for 3rd. It looks like Salem Montgomery Jr. is really closing the distance here on Mike Trussler as well.
Yeah, still a bit of a gap between those two, but Salem's going to have his work cut out for him, but the battle right now is bottom half of this top 10. Preto now starting to close up on Jack Ivey.
Yeah, those best lap between the two is definitely advantage to Andres Preto. So 2 seconds better on his best lap over Jack Ivey. And it looks like Aaron Parsons has just claimed the 10th position. So running inside the top 10 now is Aaron Parsons over Ken Rodriguez.
Ooh, Preto!
Oh,
Takes it off. Looks like he was just a little too aggressive there. He was a little bit more patient. He'd have been all right, but quickly losing positions here.
he's beached
He's
now.
got it beached. I have not seen that yet. Trying to get it going.
Me either.
Wow.
I wonder if he's come up with some suspension damage and that's keeping him from getting out or something.
Yeah, he's got a beach. I have not seen that before, Brent. Well, that only bodes well for Jack.
Wow. Back to the drawing board for Andres Preto. He's got some work to do in this sim now.
Yeah, he's going to be coming away with 0 points.
Holy smokes.
All right, so let's go back up front here. And find our, yeah, Preto's still beached there, trying to get out. Trying to get the marshals to push him out of the sand, but it's not working.
No.
Yep, call the forklift. Call the wrecker. All right, so Alex White here about to complete this lap. Is going to be starting lap 20. Chris Moses got some lap traffic ahead of him, running in 20th. So Preto is done. So Chris Moses running second. Trussler hanging on to third. Yeah, Montgomery Jr. must have made a mistake because he's lost a bunch of time to Trussler. So Montgomery Jr. in that fourth position. Greg Myers running fifth. Pretty good gap over Jack Ivey in sixth.
Yeah, I thought that gap would close, Jack Ivey to Gregory Myers, but it looks like he has slipped off the pace a little bit as John Houston has made some ground on him.
Oh, so Houston just catches the gravel, but recovers nicely. He is in seventh. Chuck Carter looking to capitalize on that mistake. Now Chuck running in eighth. Aaron Parsons in ninth. Ken Rodriguez in the top 10. Sergio Calderon running in 11th. Back behind him is John Watson in 12th. Kurt Chandler, who had a great start, finds himself back in 13th. Mike Greatrix running 14th. Jaime Moore up to 15th. And Iggy Chiordia in the last points paying position. Wow.
Yeah, nice. Sorry.
I was just going to say Mascarelli running back in 17th. That's it. Quite a few DNFs here tonight, Brad.
Yeah, more than you'd like to see. Honestly, the gaps were very close there through the first stint. Is that a pass or is that, I don't know.
On board with our race leader here, Alex White cruising. It was touch and go in those first few laps, but the battle between him, Montgomery Jr. and Preto really allowed him to take advantage and pull a bit of a gap over those guys, and now he's out to a 21-second lead over Chris Moses. I gotta imagine, I gotta think Moses did double stint, but you gotta wonder if Moses didn't run into that lap traffic, how that would have turned out. Might have been a bit closer there.
Yeah, I think you're right. And right now, close is the order of the day. It's still Aaron Parsons now trying to. Damn it, John Houston and Chuck Carter.
Oh, so Carter now moves up a position, gets past John Houston. So
that's what it was.
Chuck
Okay,
Carter up to 7th. Outstanding.
Yeah, made that pass going into Lacombe. Basically, straightforward pass coming down the Kimmel Straight.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like. Greg locking him up there, but Greg looks like he's going to hang on to that top 5. Back on board with our leader here. It's Alex White. We have 1 to go after this one.
You know, it is Alex White out front, and look who has come through the field. We just haven't hardly talked about him at all, but it's been Mike Trussler who solidified that third place and podium position here, who's just gone about his business, put his head down after some early trouble, and look at that. That team running first and third, so picking up where they left off last season now.
Yeah, Alex White, GT2 last season, Drivers' Champion. Trussler and White forming Team Formula winning the team championship last season as well. Really getting the job done.
Boy, there's going to be some ribbing in that UK contingent with Connor Swain and David Rowley both out of this event.
Yeah, Trussell with a pretty sizable advantage over Montgomery Jr. as Lou has spun it at Le Circus. So Lou has some work cut out for him going forward. Trying to get that set up right. Yeah, so the field pretty much pretty spread out here.
Yeah, John Houston continues to run fairly close to Chuck Carter, hoping for a late race miracle, and actually Chuck Carter not too far away from Jack Ivey. So running within 3 seconds or so.
Well, it's great to see these guys competing and really doing a great job. And, you know, I'm pretty surprised that Parsons hasn't been able to close the gap on these guys. I mean, in GT, he's been very competitive, you know, but not so much here tonight in these Formula A cars. So Parsons may have some work cut out for him.
You know, I think they just may have missed the setup. One bright spot for that team is that they do run 8th and 9th currently, so it's not going to be total disaster for them, but time to go back to the drawing board.
So Alex White crossing going through the bus stop for the last time is going to take the win here at Spa in the inaugural Formula Abarth race. Chris Moses.
Boy, you like to get that first win. Like to get the first event of the season, Al.
Chris Moses with a solid second place finish. No doubt happy about that. And Mike Trussler as well. Your podium. Last step on the podium. Trussler's definitely going to be happy about that. Montgomery Jr. is going to finish 4th here.
Yeah, Settle Montgomery Jr. in the end not too far off of Trussler's tailpipe, but just not enough.
Well, it's going to be a battle here for this 6th position between Ivy and Chuck Carter. Chuck Carter coming on strong here at the end. Looks like Greg's got 5th place sealed up.
Oh, you know these
Chuck
guys
looking on the inside of Blanchimont. Oh, Chuck making the pass in the final corner. He's going to make it stick. No! He does. Chuck takes 6 from Jack in the last lap. What a finish. Parsons going to finish here in 9th. Ken's going to take your top 10. Your last spot there in the top 10. Wow, what a race, Brad.
Yeah.
Outstanding. So let's see if we can bring our race winner up into the broadcast booth. Alex, do you copy?
Hello.
Congratulations, Alan Brad here in the broadcast booth. Congratulations on a great win here tonight. And I gotta ask you, that first stint there early on, Montgomery Jr. got out ahead of you, and were you a little surprised by that, by his pace down the Kemmel Straight?
Um, yeah, a bit, but at this point at Spa, I'm used to being overtaken on lap one down Kemmel Straight. Uh, once he got by, I had to work a bit harder to get past by him. But I could see at the bottom he was on mediums, so I knew his tyres were going to be wrecked by the end of that stint. So if I couldn't get past them, then all I needed to do was be a bit patient, and his tyres would fall off completely. I had hards on, so I don't know how we managed it, but the way we set up the car, it was phenomenal. From the middle to the end of the stint, it just picked up pace. It was brilliant.
Now, was that your strategy the whole way through? I mean, going forward, guys going to pick up, what tires they need to be on. Is hard's definitely the way to go for these races?
I don't think I should give a definitive answer because it's so early in the season. But I'm sure at some tracks, certain like the mediums might be better at Barbagallo, for example, simply because it's a lot shorter. But I don't know. At this track, hards were just the tyre to be on compared to the mediums. The mediums lasted about 8 laps, then fell to bits. The hards, they were still fine when I pitted. And I pitted just because it was just after halfway. Then did the exact same for the second stint.
Well, it was a great win. You always want to start off with the new sim with the win, and certainly the first event of the season. It's going to be 12 rounds this season. What do you see going forward? Does the Abarth seem to suit you overall in general? It obviously did tonight. What do you feel about going forward?
Going forward, I don't know how it's going to take weight. That's something I'm a bit kind of iffy about. Season's fairly long as well, so I'm sure some strategy in terms of weight ballast will eventually come into play. And the car, it certainly took a bit of getting used to. I don't like the default setup very much at all. But yeah, with the few changes that I've made, it's a lot more planted on the rear end coming out of corners, which is where I was struggling when I first jumped into it.
Now, going back to strategy real quick, did you guys elect to change tires, or was double stint an option on the hards?
I don't think double stinting would have been an option because they would have eventually gone off, I'm guessing around about lap 17 or 18 on those tyres, so would have had to have made a pit stop as well. Then they'd just fall off a cliff, plus with the extra weight, dead tyres, and I don't think they'd have lasted a double stint. Plan was always to change them.
Alright, well, it's going to be interesting to see how you fare next week, especially with the success ballast. So, have you driven any laps at Zandvoort? And for those watching, Zandvoort's our next race next week. So, how do you think the car is going to fare with the weight at Zandvoort?
I'm guessing it's going to be like the normal, a lot more sluggish, a bit more horrible in the middle of corners. I could imagine the back end being a bit more of a nightmare. But I've not done any laps at Zandvoort yet, but I'm fairly familiar with the track, so looking forward to it.
Well, congratulations, Alex, on a great win. Pretty easy win there after the first few laps. So you started to really stretched out that lead and ended up finishing the race about 20 some odd seconds ahead of Moses. So congratulations, and going to look forward to seeing you next week. See how you perform with that weight at Zandvoort.
Yeah, thank you very much. Also, can I say, it was weird in GTR2 because you guys even picked up on it on the broadcast that I never did well at Spa. It's slightly odd doing well at Spa for once.
Well, the circumstances were a bit different than GTR2. By the time we reached Spa, you were probably you pretty much had the championship in the bag. So that's probably the case. But since we opened the season tonight, you redeemed yourself.
Thank you very much. Cheers for doing the broadcast, and it's also a good start for the team championship as well with Mike in third.
Yeah, it certainly is. So congratulations, Alex, and good luck next week.
Thank you. See you later.
All right, Brad. Well, there you have it. First round in the books. Alex White taking the win. Chris Moses finishing second, and Trussler in third. So, man, it really is going to be interesting to see how this championship plays out here throughout the season. The weight is a big unknown, and some of these, some guys you wouldn't expect finishing in the top 10. Who knows where they're going to be next week with some of these guys with weight.
Yeah, this race lived up to expectations, I think, and it gave us a good idea. I think everybody there are some question marks about how the cars would perform, how maybe they would perform in the cars. Some guys are going to get a big boost of confidence, but Zandvoort, Al, whole nother animal altogether. So we're really going to see if these guys are prepared to prepare, so to speak, and to find out what strategy is going to work best. It looks like that's going to come into play this season.
Well, all I know is these guys are lucky I'm not racing because I was laying down some serious laps at Zandvoort in these Abarths. So anyway, but until next week, as we mentioned, we're going to be at Zandvoort for round 2. But until then, we'll be back Thursday night for Super Pole for GT on Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, single lap qualifying, followed by a 15-lap sprint race. So that's going to be great. Ken Rodriguez is going to be broadcasting that one, so hopefully you guys can tune in for that. Until then, we'll see you next Monday at 9 for Zandvoort. Thanks, Brad. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.